So good morning, everybody, and welcome to Cup of Faith. I'm filming today from our office here at home, which has kind of turned into a little bit of a storage room, so apologize for the clutter in behind me here, but excited to be here with you this morning to talk about our name for God today, and that name is El Che. And the Hebrew language is complex and it's nuanced, so sometimes it takes a lot of English words or phrases to really capture its meaning. So this word Che means living, alive, having life, remaining alive, sustaining life, and living forever. So there's a lot of meaning within there. So there's this idea in that word that God is alive, that he is living, but there's also within this word Che the idea that he is life, that he gives life and that he sustains life, and that he is eternal. So with this word El Che, it's saying that God is the eternally living giver and sustainer of life. In Jeremiah, it shows up in the Old Testament in a number of places, but we see it in Jeremiah 10:10. But the Lord is the true God. He is the living God, El Che, the eternal King. And in Daniel 6:26, we see it when Daniel's come out of the lion's den. He's been saved in the lion's den, and the king issues this decree. In Daniel 6:26, I issue a decree that in every part of my kingdom, people must fear and reverence the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, El Che, and he endures forever. His kingdom will not be destroyed. His dominion will never end. So this realization that God is the eternally living giver and sustainer of life has some pretty incredible implications. And I just want to talk about a few of them here this morning with you, and I hope it's an encouragement to you. So the first is that our God is alive. We don't have a God who is made out of bronze, metal, or wood. He's not crafted by hands or imagination of humans. He doesn't sit on a shelf and remain motionless and speechless. He is alive. He is moving. He is active. He has revealed himself as the living God to Adam, Noah, Abraham, the prophets, Moses, to his enemies and to the enemies of his people, and to us through the Bible, and most clearly through the life of Christ. So our God is alive, and that means when we call out to him, he hears us. We don't call out to the vastness of space, we call out to the vast love and power of a living God. And the fact that he is alive means that he can not only hear us when we call out, but he can respond to our prayers and provide for and protect and comfort us in our times of need. The fact that he's alive means that he's always in motion, working towards the end of injustice in our lives and in this world. And in Romans 8:28 it says, we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. And I love that word, he works. He is moving, he is active. He is not speechless, motionless, or powerless. He is alive and he is working. So not only is he living, is he alive, but he is the source of life. He is the giver of life and the sustainer of life. We perhaps see this most clearly at creation. And creation literally means to bring something into existence, to make something out of nothing. So God brought life at creation because he is the only one that could. He is the source of life. He brought life to the plants and to the animals, but most importantly, he brought life to us. In Genesis 2:7 it says, then the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. So without God there would be no life, and without God life would not continue. God is the sustaining and ongoing power of life. And that's why it's so important that he is not only the living giver and sustainer of life, but that he is the eternally living giver and sustainer of life. If God had an end date, a moment when he was no longer going to exist, that would be the end date for all of his creation as well. The fact that he's eternal means that he keeps on sustaining his creation. It also means that he can eternally sustain us. And through faith in Jesus Christ, we are offered this amazing gift of living eternally in the presence of the eternally life-giving and sustaining God. Without his eternal nature, there would be no eternity. So I hope that this is an encouragement to you today. The God we worship is the eternally living giver and sustainer of life. He is alive and moving, hearing and responding, and working all things together for the good of those who love him. And he gave us life, and he sustains that life, and he is able to do that for eternity because he is eternal. And I pray that today you experience in a tangible way our eternally living giver and sustainer of life, our El Che, our God. And I also pray that your hearts would be in the same place as David's when he wrote these words in Psalm 84. My soul yearns, even faints, for the courts of the Lord. My heart and flesh cry out for the living God, for El Che. God bless and have an amazing day.